In Telangana now, it appears free speech might just land you in trouble, that you might just be dubbed as a cyber criminal. A leaked report from the Telangana Cyber Security Bureau has sparked quite a storm. The document proposes opening history sheets for social media offenders, even for those who've never been convicted in the past. It claims 69 such history sheets already exist and mentions a training camp to track online speech as well. Critics say that this is dangerous, blurring the lines between free speech and crime. It could mean that sharp posts or criticism online that people can put out, you or I, it can be treated as cyber crime, bringing ordinary citizens under surveillance. Police argue that this is done only to ensure that there's no fire that's fueled out of a social media post. It's not instigating any communal riot or riot of any kind, and that this is a bid to crack down on any kind of fake news, scam, and even terror incitement or recruitment as well. Now, just a day ago, social media posts triggered arson and stone pelting at a Garba pandal in Gandhinagar. So, citing these instances that a social media post can really flare sentiments and it should be treated as a cyber crime. This is what Telangana police say. But imagine you put out something that you want to express with such passion, and your name could be on the history sheeter list if you're in Telangana. And if it hasn't gone down well within the administration, the police, or people at large. So the big question here is this preventive policing or an attempt to muscle dissent? Telangana has come out with this order. Do you think it would resonate across India, and should it be made a pan-India rule? It's shocking to us, but let's bring in Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka, joining us for a little more. Sanjay Sahai, thanks very much. Your take on this?
Thank you.
If you write if you put out a post that one does not like, you can very well be treated as a history sheeter under Telangana's new rule.
I think that is your interpretation of things, but what I am intrigued about is there are no clear-cut guidelines. So whatever has been communicated from the DG of Telangana state and this particular thing which we are reading about, it basically talks of something which is happening in a surreptitious manner. So first and foremost, that the history sheets which are created, criminal history sheets, does not come out of thin air. It comes out of a legislation, and that legislation is finally translated into the state's police manual. Based on that, history sheets are created. Now, in this case, there is nothing in the police manual. So what they're trying to do is they're extrapolating the police manual rules or police manual sections which are used for normal criminal history sheets to creating digital history sheets. As far as my understanding goes, social media and the digital world is a totally different animal, is a totally different creature. And the police in large parts of this country are unable to understand. And the only way they can control this is coming with some draconian sort of an exercise. Now, if they're talking about history sheets, then what does it comprise of? How do you become a history sheeter? The very name, without getting into the legality, means that you have been doing it in a habitual manner. In a history sheet also, conviction might not happen, but you still get onto the history sheet. But how do you define that in the social media? When the definition of crime itself is not there, you call it a cyber crime. What we are talking about in the social media, I don't think it anyway corresponds to cyber crime, but for very few of the social media posts. Rest is basically a transgression into what government feels is its rightful domain. And when it feels that you have crossed the rightful domain, or they have not been able to control something. Now, the post you are talking about what happened somewhere in Gujarat. Now, the post might be okay, it's fine. But when a violence happens, they connect the post and that violence and then make you into a criminal. So broadly, there are no safeguards. There is absolutely nothing which is written in black and white that these constitutes or this is the criteria to become a history sheeter. And the freedom of speech, which we have seen, see, the background is also very, very surreptitious. The way social media posts have been tackled with criminality, I think there is lots which is desired. Only on the 10th of September, I think it was the Nala Balu's case in the High Court of Telangana, which was a very watershed directive given by High Court of Telangana, which primarily becomes the law of the land till the time something is legislated upon, which very clearly states as to what will be the criteria, and just reacting against the government or something which you find to be not acceptable, even words which you find to be not acceptable, cannot be treated as an offense.
So do you believe this should be tweaked to say that?
It should not be tweaked, it has to be redone, re-refined, rewritten.
Wow, okay, that's
there
it.
needs to be a social media law.
Okay.
There needs to be a social media law which is even independent of the IT Act. The IT Act also is not sufficient enough to understand social media, and as we move into artificial intelligence, we move into deepfake, and we need into variety of things which governments are struggling to understand, inclusive of the governments abroad. It is very, very difficult that you just push off some sarkari order and you feel that things will be set right.
Okay.
It is primarily to give teeth to people who are struggling with something which they don't know how to handle.
Exactly. Well, great view on that. We thought the same as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Sai, for joining us and shedding light on that topic.